Hello.
Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
everyone.
Hello.
Oh, four of
Welcome
you.
to Blood and Song, Total Party Win. Welcome also to anyone who's watching this after the fact or listening to it on the podcast. It's just an announcement this week and a little chat amongst ourselves about what's next. So we thought we would want to include everybody in sort of discussion about what's next. So I'm Sean. I'm joined by Ryan and Bradley, obviously.
Yo.
You'll notice that Johnny's been absent recently. Dan, as you know, is working, and Christine is on and off from work as well. So
And
Johnny
Joffrey's
has
busy as well.
Joffrey's busy as well. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I just figure like wherever Dan goes, Joffrey goes in a positive, in a great way. When Dan comes back, Joffrey's back. You know, that'd be great. But yeah, so Johnny has taken on some work. His workload has just increased. Everything's going back to normal after COVID. New normal, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And we're keen to keep the stream alive and keep diversifying, trying new things. So the first thing to say is that Arianwell itself, as a part of Blood and Song, the Arianwell campaign, which we were all building, and then it was in Johnny's world of Arianwell, that's being put on hold for on hiatus for roughly 6 to 12 months. I reckon it'd be about 6 months. To be honest, because I think we're all going to want to dive back into it fairly soon.
Yeah.
But that's just being put off for 6 months so Johnny can get some paid work in, basically. And also it gives him a chance to build up the next arc. So I don't know if anyone can remember, but we
just freed the god and we were leaving Newmangart. We were traveling south.
Yeah, so it's a good place to pause it. We're at an interesting point where we're not quite sure what will happen. I mean, we were, so for example, as players, we weren't sure what would happen about what would happen with your character, Bradley. Whether Octavius would pass his trial. We weren't sure like how we would sort of part ways with Fiella. I have to remember Raffi's name, and then that's how I remember it.
I just remember the food. I remember the food.
It's
It's the food paella.
This is an important thing to know about Brad. He's obviously one of the loveliest people I know. You're one of the loveliest people I know. But
I mean, when you preface something like that,
went around to have your world famous paella that you were like, it's
I
my
forgot.
best dish.
I forgot the paella rice.
It's my paella, right? So we were all sat down. Ready
I had to rush to the shop while it
was.
was in the wok.
Yeah. So yeah, we're just talking about paella. So we're at a really interesting point. I mean, a lot of Phaser's arc had sort of just exploded, blossomed, right? So we did talk about that briefly in the episodes afterwards. And if Interior is where we go next, then certainly that's one of the reasons why Johnny wants to make sure it's as good as it can possibly be. Wants it to be as culturally sort of relevant and important and sensitive as possible. And then no doubt we would end up closing off or approaching some of the arcs from the Interior boys, as we've been calling them, the remaining 3 Interior boys, who have had their various plot hooks and stuff sort of sprinkled liberally around. So we're all very excited, and we sort of know there'll be a point, judging by sort of, because we've got to think that Johnny, like the rest of us, is working 2 jobs basically at any one point, and more, and Christine, Joffrey, Dan, they work very atypical jobs, you know, so they're all over the place. So they're in, they're out, like they don't have, like, working closely with Dan over the last few years,
beholden almost to audiences and seasons and all sorts.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we
and last minute things and weekends and
And we the most consistent work 9 to 5s, and that's why 9 to 5s. You know, 5 days a week.
Yeah. Literally 8:30 till 5. Laptop closes, no more work.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody at home feels the way we feel, which is that we really enjoy the Mondays, and it's a nice way of sort of putting our work aside and being able to sort of muck about with each other in another world. So we want to try and keep the stream alive and keep doing things on the Monday. So
I actually
we've got some exciting things coming up
before I landed this role, and I was interviewing at a few places and speaking to a few people. I have Blood and Song on my CV. You know, I have it as being one of the sort of project manager of everything and background staff, and then actually being a full-time stream member. And you know, I genuinely had a few people ask me in interview questions like, how do you think, you know, doing that kind of thing will affect your work? And I said, actually, I think it makes me work better because I start my week off the back of a D&D game with friends that I really love, and it puts me in such a great mood. You know, and you know, Garfield would moan about Mondays, but I always had something to look forward to in the afternoon, in the evening, and then I had that energy carry me through the rest of the week of like a great game. So you know, it was always something that we have really enjoyed, and as you said, being those sort of 9 to 5ers, it means that well, I've got something to look forward to on that, and at a regular scheduled time too.
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting because people say, "What did you do over the lockdown?" Well, we started a stream, right? And so we're really proud of that, and one we're really proud of. And so, of course, it's helpful. You know, I also have it on my CV, and I think it's really interesting to sort of find that people have commented on it when I've gone to the job interviews and things. They've said, "Oh, by the way, I saw this stream that you did and stuff like that." I'm like, "Oh, I hope you watch one of the good ones." They watched one of the ones where I did. A couple of them watched the ones where I did the.
They just watched that Gash clip over and over.
Yeah, all of the dodgy characters I'm not proud of, right? None of the like amazing moments, like
Chad Kroger singing for 2 hours.
Chad Kroger, yeah, for example, yeah, which isn't great. But yeah, so it's something that we're very proud of doing during lockdown, and definitely also starting something. It's a very new space, I think. Streaming Dungeons and Dragons, of course, is not new at all. In fact, it's very old, reasonably old. But streaming is relatively new. The same way that I just want to get this out. Like I used to record on a VHS our Smash Brothers games, right?
Yep.
You get the GameCube, plug it into the thing on the front of the VHS, and you could record your battles and streams effectively onto a VHS. And that was how but there's that disconnect between actually being able to either monetize it or make it into a career, which doesn't really factor in because of the time that it happened. But it's interesting. So it's like that. It's a very new sort of technology space and creative space. So we're really excited to have started something that we're proud of that has a good quality to it. We think, you know, the Blood and Song intro by Becky is fantastic, and everybody pulled together to do like their artwork, to get their artwork done from our incredible artist. Got, you know, the videos of themselves done and stuff. Like everyone pulled together, and like the art. I know the art for the logo we're really proud of. So when we move into the next phase, we'll bring out the new logo, stuff like that. So we're really really proud of that sort of stuff. But also it was cut by the cloth of things like Critical Role, right? So it began with, as most streams probably do like this, tabletop streams, they start with a real sort of leaning on Matt Mercer and on the sort of on the Critical Role games and other similar ones like that. So, and that's very much led by Johnny, who is a real respecter of those sorts of DMs and those sorts of hosts and those sorts of games and those sorts of the way you look at the rules and the way that you take the game seriously. So that was lovely. But with Johnny out for 6 months, we're going to tear some shit up. We're going to try some other things, right? So we've talked about Cyberpunk already. We were going to make an announcement, but with some of the behind the scenes things as we figured out, I'm sure people listening will be realizing that that Cyberpunk announcement will also be put back slightly. But that's because we want to make sure that the right people, i.e. the crew, are able to be there for the first episodes, are able to be there early doors, right? How do you feel about having to sort of postpone it, Ryan, or put it back, you know, either 3 to 6 months as well?
I think it's fine. I think it's you know, I did some intensive reading, and it was all good to come up with the idea of the plot and the plan and stuff like that. And you know, you're ready to put something into gear. But then actually I think there's no issue with pausing, and it gives you extra time, and it means you can actually, what would have been effectively like between 4 to 6 weeks worth of planning now becomes 4 to 6 months worth of planning, which means that arcs can be richer, and and you know, characters, and we can work on it with whoever comes in to be able to make something that is like great for everyone. And with the idea of the way that it plays out, where you can drop in, drop out. Watching, taking a lot of inspiration. Tormented by Gnomes as a GM for the Don't Peak Entertainment. Like, he's a great inspiration. Like, for me, he talks about Matt Mercer for Johnny, but he ran a Cyberpunk campaign, and I loved the way he did it because it was really smart. So taking inspiration from that allowed me to be able to elevate it, and it just means that we get to a better point, right? Like, it'd be nice to do some different kind of content, and I'm fine with it being paused.
Yeah, I think it's probably the right thing to do. So
problem with millennials want things straight away, don't they? They want things straight away and delivered by a drone. And
yes, I do. Yes, I do.
I'm actually all right with that. We are millennials as well, by the way. So all of us here. I'm closer to the geriatric side of millennial, but I am still a millennial. I don't know if Dan and et al. I don't know if that lot are like. I don't know. They might be too old.
I think Dan's the gen before us.
Yeah, I think he is.
Only just though.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I mean, Taj will know. Taj, tell us what generation are you and Dan? You're definitely not millennials. What's the one up from that? Let us know.
I just squeaked into millennial, but then they changed it when they bring new ones.
I think it's like the forgotten generation or something. I think they're called.
I don't think
they might be. Yeah. No, there is something like that. Brad last we recorded for something else which we'll talk about later. It's a podcast, but Brad was using a PlayStation mic last time. So why did you not go for your PlayStation?
Because I bought a new mic. Yeah, it worked really well actually though. It was just a bit awkward because I couldn't see my PC screen because the controller was sat there.
Yeah. Well, that's our hack. So if anyone else needs a microphone last minute and you've got a PS5, it's a great microphone once you plug it in. So did you have to get any drivers or anything, or did it just sort of did it automatically find it?
Oh no, the PlayStation. PlayStation. Just plugged it in. I just plugged it in and it found all the microphones. I just set it. It's not called. It's every app that I had to set it. Every app that I had to set it, it was called something different. Like in Audacity, it was called like Windows Player Input, and then in OBS, it was called Controller Microphone.
Right. Okay. Yeah. But you get it working eventually. You wouldn't have been able to get any of this shit sorted the way you when we were younger. It's the drivers, like downloading a driver, finding a driver package.
Well, it's all CDs. If you didn't have the CD for the driver, you were fucked.
Yeah. Absolutely buggered.
Encarta on CD, mate. Encarta on CD. All right. Yeah. So we've got. We were talking about very very shortly. So this will depend on which of our missing team members can drop back in. Brad is also working on a Descent. Hang on, we did talk about this recently. Descent from Avernus.
So close.
Descent to Avernus.
Also very very close. Descent into Avernus.
All right. Descent into Avernus.
Yes.
So most of people listening will actually know what that is. But it's a 5e module, right?
Yeah, it's an official Wizards of the Coast module.
So this is the one thing I wanted to touch on with Cyberpunk is that what is difficult and what has happened with Arianwell is that it's a homebrew world, and because of that, there's a lot more planning and effort that goes into this because you have to really sort of think of every step of the way. So I think being able, and Brad, volunteering to run Descent into Avernus is great because it means that, and a few of the other podcasts and streams that I watch on this, they do that already. They take existing material and then they sort of homebrew their own world around it. So you've still got the plan, what you're doing.
I don't think you can run. Well, you probably could run the modules by the book, but it would be a struggle. Yeah. I think it would be a real struggle because a lot of them are poorly balanced with plot holes and some characters that are either a little bit boring or don't make much sense. And that's just because
it sounds a bit like Arianwell now. You say. No, I'm joking.
And that's just because that
was too easy.
They're packed with so much
and the NPCs,
stuff.
The NPC characters save all the player characters as well.
That's right.
In the books.
But they're just packed, and the books are packed with so much stuff and information that you can't guarantee that everything's going to be creme de la creme.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No, that's
tell
fair
us,
enough.
Tell us,
And,
Brad, if you're thinking of running some Descent, let us know. Give us the top level, the blurb.
The blurb.
yeah, give us the synopsis or the blurb. Yeah,
The blurb.
But bear in mind, just before you do, I just want to say that like Brad's been running. We had to put it on hold recently, but Brad's been running a Curse of Strahd, and it's excellent. And it's like taking like the source book, but then adding some stuff that he's sort of hacked, found online, and then mixed it in, and then done his own stuff. It's really really good. So Brad as a DM is superb. He's you've seen him do some of the one shots, right, as well, and like. He's savvy with the rules, but he knows when to sort of rule of cool and when to sort of bend them a little. So we're really happy that. But what we basically need is that third member, right? There's no way that like me and Ryan, we're good company. We know that, but we need that extra person before we jump into to a sort of new campaign. But we're thinking of doing it in 5e because people like. Myself really and Christine and other people will already know the rules, so we can jump straight back in. So once Christine creates a character, if she's working, Tech Week is something that people keep telling me, Dan and Joffrey and everything, Tech Week, whatever the hell that is. Sounds like an excuse, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's an acronym for like, I don't know, I can't think of something at the moment, but yeah, so they will all they'll all be doing that, but whoever gets to get in here will from the ground up will be able to do.
I'll read you the adventure overview from the book if you like.
Yes.
The holy city of Elturel has disappeared
Wait,
from.
Stop. Can you give it a bit more like movie announcement?
The holy city of Elturel has disappeared from the Forgotten Realms and descended into Avernus, the first layer of the Nine Hells. This event came about as the result of an infernal bargain between the archdevil Zariel, who rules Avernus, and the treacherous High Overseer of Elturel, Thavius Krieg. Zariel is capturing cities and using their citizens as fodder in the ongoing conflict between the demons and devils known as the Blood War. Next on Zariel's list of cities is Elturel's neighbour, Baldur's Gate. The characters can be the heroes who descend into Avernus, save Elturel from certain destruction, and prevent a similar fate from befalling Baldur's Gate.
That's cool. That's very exciting. So we're going to dick around in or near. We're going to be near Baldur's Gate. That's kind of cool. We start in Baldur's Gate.
You
right?
start in Baldur's Gate. Brand new adventurers.
That's cool. Even I know what that is. Baldur's Gate. So we start there. It's going to be good.
What is that, Sean? What is Baldur's Gate?
It's a gate, yeah. It's a city and the city. That gate. Oh, the gate. All the gates. North Gate, South Gate, East Gate, West Gate. All the gates.
Yeah. And the fifth one, Baldur's Gate. Oh yeah.
Baldur's Gate.
So that's the second city, sister city.
That one. Difficult.
It's like the twin city, like Aylesbury's twinned with Bruges something I can't remember.
Organ-Brest, mate. Come on,
Organ-Brest. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I saw that sign more than enough times.
I know.
So so that's very exciting. So and then, I mean, I love the idea of an entire city being plunged down into like a hellscape. That's awesome. I'm getting Hellblazer
and
vibes.
we'll basically be exploring almost the entire first layer of hell. There are 9 layers, 9 layers of hell in Forgotten Realms.
Yeah, so then we can actually say things like, instead of going like, "Oh, Illyria be damned," or whatever, we can be like, "By the 9 hells." Have you got an idea? So have you got an inkling, Sean, of what you might want to play for this campaign? Have you got something you might have?
No, it's a good question. It's a good question. We've talked about this before, but I'm the kind of person who likes to look at my well of characters that I've got in the bank that I've created and thought, oh, I'd love to try that out. Like a clockwork sorcerer. Throw those away. Start from scratch every time. So yeah, there's like clockwork sorcerer, stuff like that. There's some stuff that like, but then that's quite mechanically heavy, and I might want to just do something. Genuinely, I want a sort of maybe a magical equivalent of the champion fighter. Like I want to go simple on this one because
Paladin,
Eldritch Knight, Paladin.
Eldritch Knight, Paladin.
Maybe trickster, rogue.
Yeah,
which is what Dan plays in Strahd.
I've got an Echo Knight in the wings for something. This might be the right one for it with the sort of the hellscape. I don't know. So that's one I'd really love to play, the Echo Knight, which I've played a couple of times in one shots. Love to do an Echo Knight, but they're sort of mechanically like the Battle Master. They're not too heavy and they're not too light, so it might sit somewhere in between. But then combat always sneaks up on me, and then I forget all my stuff. So I might want to just be like one of the guys you suggested that's just straight down the line, and I can be more sort of role playing in combat and less worried about like whether I'm mechanically doing the right thing. Essentially, so that might help. So, but then I also like to fit in with everybody else. So I sort of want to see Christine's newer, so she's had opportunities to play less characters. She's playing a very sort of feature-rich character, right? Obviously,
yeah. And well, she's now we've all got at the very minimum a years and a half of experience of D&D now.
Yeah.
So no excuses.
Well, she can't go uphill. I don't think she can go any more complicated. So anything that she does is,
And since we're starting low level, so like character deaths are going to be a high risk from 1 to 5.
See, I like that. I think maybe we should go at it a little bit more like a one shot where I'm more interested in mechanics I want to try, which I think is something that so Brad, you and Johnny are quite good at this, but like just different mechanics you want to try out, and then. But I sort of worry too much about the role play. But so with this one, I might just throw myself into some classes that I want to try.
I always separate it in my head. I've got my character and the role play, and he happens to be a druid. Or I've got my character and what he is, and it happens to be a fighter. And it's a minor part of the role. I mean, what sort of things do you see Octavius doing as a druid other than wild shaping into a beast every now and again? It's like literally the only role-playing stuff that he does as a druid.
Yeah.
He role-plays way more as what you would think of as a fighter, because he's an ex-army bloke.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, see, I don't know what to do about this then. But I'll slot myself in somewhere, I know that. Yeah, what about you, Ryan?
It depends, because if we don't have a healer, then we're basically buggered, aren't we? So if Christian wants to play something that doesn't pertain to some healing spells, I might go for a barbarian.
I don't know. You don't have a dedicated healer in Strahd, and you've only had 4 characters die. So
no, Sean's supposed to be.
I'm not.
My point remains. You don't have a dedicated healer.
That's true.
I forget that I'm a healer. Genuinely, I do.
So I might multi-class and play a barbarian. Which
that's
would be interesting. So yeah. There's a bit more like just because I was just wondering if it would be good or not, but then because I was looking at a few kind of like, because I was even looking at playing they're not called changelings, they're the ones that have like bestial powers, like from
Shifter.
Eberron. I can't remember what they're called. Yeah, shifters. So I was thinking about maybe playing like something like would be quite cool to play like a sort of Lycan shifter, barbarian sort of class thing. But again, like I think it'd be nice to maybe flex on a spellcaster. I haven't done that before, or playing a ranger. So there's a few options, but it depends on sort of. But yeah, a barbarian sounds ridiculous because you have to sort of balance going into a rage into battle. But then if you rage, you can't cast any spells, so you can't do any of your bard stuff. So you have to play.
Yeah. I mean, I think you can still give inspiration though.
Yeah. But it's very. But I wouldn't be able to cast like a vicious mockery or anything. So that's the thing. So it's an interesting like twist. It's an interesting dynamic twist as well as to like what situational as to what I do. I don't think I've got the. I don't have the book smarts to play a wizard. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a lot going on there. And I also think they're a bit of a cheap class, to be fair, because they get super powerful super quickly. And then they're sort of like
it's lovely because it leans
the ultimate
into
nerd masturbatory class.
No, it's good. It's good because it leans into people who are more interested in weirdly, that it also leans into people who are more interested in combat, right? Of course, because when combat comes around, you've got to know what you're doing. and like the order you do it in, and and everything is really complicated. So in a weird sort of way, they're actually quite difficult in combat to in a good way for people who want to get their teeth stuck in, right? I know you want to hit things, so maybe it's but you can hit things with a a spell.
But
I don't know if
there's there's the healing. They've now added like a healing class for monks now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
stuff
think
like
it's
that could be
Way of
interesting.
Mercy,
Or
I
even
think.
like, could you skin or use like the alchemist class from? Is that how? Because the
So
alchemist
the-
class that was added to the artificer, right?
It's the alchemist.
So they,
kind of has a healing, but it's the ability to dish out. I think it's like 3 potions
potions.
every long rest, and the potions don't necessarily have to be healing. I think they might even be random, like you don't know until you drink it.
Yeah, it is experimental elixirs.
Yes,
roll a
that's
dice
right.
On it.
like for a long time, you're not quite. At
Yeah,
that
and
level.
they're I think they're all positive effects, but like they might not be the positive effect that you want. You might be on 1 HP and get I don't know +2 to strength or something stupid like that.
Because I sort of I like the idea of being like this Darkest Dungeon type character, this sort of like weird, sort of weird chemist, and
like a witch doctor.
Yeah, the witch
kind of
doctor,
like-
dude.
Yeah, like a witch doctor.
Or plague
I-
doctor.
I
Sorry,
thought
plague
about
doctor. He
playing-
is.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought
the
about
Plague Doctor,
playing,
yeah.
Like a sorcerer who's like a snake oil salesman, but then that would also be like an alchemist, sort of like come see my wares, like that kind of thing. Like
None
the
of it's
sort
actually magical. It's
real-
just you
or
as a
like,
sorcerer making
hey
things
there.
magical accidentally.
Yeah. Hey there, partner.
Also,
I see. I've got the all snakes, all clue elixir here.
I like the accent. But I mean, I'm also intrigued. I'd love to run a campaign. I'd love to be part of a campaign, where everybody plays the same class. Right? That would be fun. If there's a reason for it, if you come out of like...
There's a
Maybe
there was a
Strixhaven's
run-
good for that. You can all be in the same class, for example. But then you all take different subclasses, so it sort of feels like...
You can
you're
do
all
that.
from
If,
the
you
same
can do that
class.
whenever you like, really. I think
Yeah, in
we've always gone into the games thinking, oh, what niche can I fill within the group? You don't
Yeah,
necessarily
which is
have to
fine,
do
but-
that. 5e can stretch that boundary of not having a healer and having 5 monks.
well,
Yeah, because I
so
think it'd be
that-
kind of fun to have everyone be the same class.
That's
you
what.
know?
So that's what they did for. There was a campaign in NADPOD where where Caldwell was on paternity leave, and so they ran like a short campaign where they were like a group. They were like elite soldiers basically, but they were all monks. So they were all different subclasses of the monk.
Yeah, that's
which is
cool.
really
I love
good.
it. Well,
Green
Yeah,
Power
I don't know,
Ranger.
I mean-
Blue Power Ranger.
yeah,
That's all I can
pretty
think
It was
of.
much
quite
it.
cool because there's enough variety in the monk class for you to be able to one guy was like a
Alright,
hunter,
well-
basically monk.
Let's say we can't go monk, right? Because they've done it already. I don't know if there's anyone in the chat that can fill this in, but what's a good game to run or to have if everyone's the same class? What's the best class? for
I mean,
everyone
you
to
can
be?
do it, but the thing is that there's only going to be 2 players that are going to be staples within Descent. So, you can do whatever you like, really, and I'm not too bothered. Even willing
But
to
what would you-
even willing to stretch to some curated third-party classes. I might send you.
Oh, that could be fun. Yeah, I don't mind trying something fun out. I don't mind trying something new out. Definitely.
Problem
Yeah,
is that
I
it won't
don't
be
know,
in
I don't know
Beyond,
if it's-
so... Well, there might be in
Yeah.
Beyond. It depends whether somebody's added that homebrew class to Beyond, so I don't know.
No, sorry, I've gone paperless, mate. I'm trying to look after the environment. I can't have anything physical.
Yeah,
I'm
Google
afraid.
Drive's
Beyond the
paperless.
Beyond.
In about.
Oh shit! I can't do maths either. I'm mathless.
Oh, okay, one of those.
Right, champion fight for you then, Sean. From now,
Yeah,
forever.
I know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what would be a fun game to have. I mean, this is going to sound bonkers, but having a load of Echo Knights would be fun because everyone would have their own Echo, and then how the Echoes interact would be interesting, right? So or you have Rangers, but they're all Beastmaster, so they all have different. So the beasts all have they all interact with each other and have moments together, and they're the ones that make the fire for the camp and stuff like that, right? Stuff like that.
All the beasts joined together into one big.
Into one massive Zord. The possibilities are endless, really, as long as you've got someone like you, Brad, who doesn't mind sort of doing something different.
That's interesting.
yeah.
Someone in the chat has said, Spars in the chat has said, Druids would be the easiest, but Paladins would be the most fun.
What, for like 4 or 5 different paladins?
Yeah. Because you
Yeah,
could
that
have
would be
different ones, couldn't you?
'Cause
You'd
you'd
got,
be part of,
you'd
like,
all
an
have
order.
you might have all have conflicting tenets.
Yeah, sort of oaths.
Oaths, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. But then you're all paladins, so you're all maybe part of the same order, but no, not same order, but like the same sort of area. Let's say of school.
Army, different
Yeah.
orders, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So then you sort of, then the sort of the differences can come from their oaths and things like that. Yeah, that's really interesting. And then the oath breaker will keep trying to pull people onto their side and stuff like that. You
Come
know?
on, it's fun over here.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I guess you sort of, that feels very much. I mean, is the paladin the Jedi? I'm trying to just think. It basically is, isn't it? So like,
No,
the paladin.
No,
Is it
the
not?
fucking Jedi is the wizard, in it. That's what the Jedi is.
I
mean,
don't know.
maybe-
Depends,
maybe-
if you're thinking-
Space powers, in it.
Mechanically, but I think like role playing
Paladin
wise,
feels like
I think
right?
role playing wise, Paladin fits them best.
Yeah, because they're governed by a sort of higher power that they got to follow, and then they have their holy weapon
Yeah.
and that only they can wield, all that sort of
And
stuff.
if they break,
It'll be
if
like-
they break the rules, turn to the dark side.
Yeah,
and-
yeah. But maybe you multi-class. That's how you make the Jedi, right? You multi-class between. But then it wouldn't be wizard, would it?
Ooh,
'Cause
each
it would-
temple or order nominates their top paladin to join the team. I like it. It's from Spars again.
It's pretty good.
It's good.
It's pretty good. I felt like you might have written this
Mate.
down already, Spars, you know? This is
Also, listen,
something that's in your locker somewhere.
Let's put it this way: if it's Descent that we choose to do this in, we don't have to, because no one wants to override anyone else's choices if they want to do something, different.
Yeah, and
But if
we'll
it
have
is, then
like
there's a
Dan
reason
and that'll
for us-
be dropping in, dropping out. So like they probably
Yeah,
won't be
yeah.
following any sort of set pattern that
But
we
it'll be
do.
interesting to sort of. It might fit, right? Because we're in a hellscape. So if we're paladins,
Listen,
all
I'm
fighting
not,
for
Sean,
good
you're not pushing this
in different
agenda of all
ways.
playing the same class as me, right? I ain't
Oh,
doing
like
this.
it. I
ain't
like
doing
it.
this Avernus thing. When you do
I
your own
like it.
homebrew game, you can make that the rule.
Avernus sounds like the right place to do it, though, doesn't it? Fight out of hell as an order of paladins. That's a
Why don't we,
tagline.
why don't we
isn't it?
all be,
That's
why
how
don't
we
we all be
advertise the show.
barbarians then? And fight out
Nah.
of hell.
That would be
There you go.
barbarians,
There you
like
go.
in the
That
wilds, with
stopped you.
no like a survival campaign would be.
I don't know.
Barbarians, wouldn't
It
you
just
know,
sounds like Doom with
barbarian.
multiple people.
it? In a tribe.
It's lots of
Yeah.
barbarians. It's just Doom with multiple people.
Yeah. I guess it
Yeah,
depends on
Doom
the campaign, doesn't
barbarian.
it? Because if there was a survival type campaign where you're off in the woods for a long time, like a tribe of barbarians, a family of barbarians would be awesome. And each person in the tribe would have a different connection, so they'd have a different subclass, right? So the barbarian that you were, Ryan, at one point that had, I think, was it in Strahd, that had the ancestor,
the ancient
ancestral
ancestor.
connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's the wise man of the wise person of the tribe of orcs, tribe of
Well, it could be
barbarians.
yeah. Well, it could be anything. That's what I like about classes. You can spin them anywhere that you like, because you could have him.
Yeah.
He's the young guy that's inherited the spirits. You don't know what the fuck to do with them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there is something I like for a later date about doing an all the same class, because then in a weird sort of way it's streamlined. No one's sort of wondering what people are capable of. You hit the ground running as if you already know each other. It's interesting. Anyway, it's something I am into. But we'll see if it's this one or the next one. So yeah, well, that's going to be on the cards as soon as we get our third player back, whoever that's
Yeah.
going to be.
Yeah.
Which,
The
by
next-
the way, no, gone.
I was going to say the next few weeks we'll probably just be playing a few board games, maybe a few Jackbox games. Get you guys
Yeah, some party
involved.
games and things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get you guys
Yeah.
involved in the Twitch chat. We've got House on the Hill. I'm missing a word from there.
We're playing Betrayal on the House on the Hills
Oh,
next week.
I knew there was another word.
Yeah, close.
Betrayal on the House on the Hill, which is something that Brad's been trying to get us into for a long time. So he's very happy.
Yes,
we
it's
got
one of
to
my
play
favourite board
later on
games.
Steam.
Mate Luke got me into it. Yeah, and I haven't played it too many times, but like I keep trying to push so many different people to play it. I've got the real life version there that's been opened twice.
Could
Oh,
you do
mate,
it
if
like
we
where you
could all meet
you
in
put your
person, we'd do
camera
that.
down and do it like. Nah,
yeah,
it's-
yeah, on a physical board.
Oh, you can see it. It's like that
No,
blotch
we've got
of green
tabletop
and
sitting
yellow in the corner.
So yeah, that's going to be exciting. So that's what we're planning on doing on Monday. This is the coming up. We're going to try Betrayal on the House on the Hill. Trail on Betrayal.
And I suppose
at
I'll be
Weight
sort of running the game. I mean, there is no GM in Betrayal. I'll be a player as well, but I'll obviously be explaining the rules to you and all that sort of stuff. But like, as soon as there's a halfway point where the haunt happens, and then all the rules change, and someone might become a villain, someone might not. Or like, there might be no villain. That's the whole point of the game. There are 100 scenarios, literally.
Right, okay.
So
is it a little bit like Cabin in the Woods? So like, you don't know the kind of monster that's going to be there.
Yes.
Ah, okay, cool.
Yeah, but you're building the house. So the first section of the game, well, most of the game, but like especially the first section of the game, is building the house around you with little tiles that represent rooms, and trying to power your character up as much as possible, ready for the haunt.
Right. Okay.
But the thing is, that you want to power up the group as a whole as well, but you don't want to power up the other players too much, just in case one of them becomes the traitor or the haunt.
Ah, shit, that's really interesting. Yeah. Will it spoil it anything to tell us what has happened previously?
I will tell you one, because it's very unlikely that you'll get it. Is when I played at my parents', there was no traitor, but the haunt was that the house got sent into the air and was floating miles above in the sky, and there were 3 of us playing, and there were 2 parachutes.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I like that. And was there a negotiation or a fight? That's what I want.
There was one person got the parachute and reached the door before the other parachute was attained, and so it was a fight between me and my mum over the last parachute.
Brilliant.
I love that. And the person who had the parachute didn't even.
And I won because I understand the rules better than she did.
Yeah,
So...
that's fair. I think sometimes you just got to go for it. The truth is that, like, I've been trying to teach my fiance chess over lockdown, and I was going easy on her, and she beat me, of course, because I was just sort of showing her. I wasn't trying to beat her, because if you beat someone and they're like, well, why would I bother playing? This sucks. I wanted her to feel the sort of victory, so I pulled a few punches.
That's my excuse when I lose chess as well. I am actually good at the game. I was just giving you a chance.
I was just giving you a chance, mate. And then what happened in the end is she goes, well, I've beat you once. I'm never going to do it again. I don't want to play ever again. So it completely backfired. So yeah. So I understand the balance of, like, are you going to, trounce these people because you know the rules better, or are you going to go easy on them? It's a tough.
I think we pick up games quite quickly.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be a problem to explain to the rules too much. Nah, because it's a bit video gamey, so like some of it will feel natural when I explain. I'll explain a base rule, and then the rest of it will sort of click into place. It's not too difficult.
Yeah. So we're gonna do some. We'll have some stuff sort of kicking off. We're not gonna go on for too much longer, I don't think, are we? It's just worth.
I doubt it. Yeah.
No. Yeah, I don't think there's too much more to say today, except
no.
Go on, Ryan.
No, carry on.
This is probably what you were going to say as well, but I'll be remiss if I didn't mention that we recorded some episodes of a new podcast over the weekend. I forgot what day it was.
Sunday.
Yesterday.
We did it
yesterday.
You know what I mean? I had to look up at the clock to see what day it was today. I still work from home. I have no idea what's going on. That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And so it was the 3 of us that recorded. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I don't even know how many people are in this call.
Yeah, just the 3 of us.
Just the 3 of us. And it was based on video games. The premise is, so we'll talk about Slash Dupe in a bit, but I host a podcast called Slash Dupe. This is about films. Essentially, it's about pitching films from the same title. Brad's been on it. Everyone on
should have won. Still salty.
Yeah. Some people are still upset about the choices I made, but it's a pitching podcast that comes from one title. So we'll give one title out, like Blood and Song, and then everybody goes off on their own and comes back and pitches their film based on that title. So that's the thing I host. Ryan co-hosts it, so does Dan. But Ryan's been hosting a podcast called White Box, and we haven't got a release date for it yet, but we just want to let you know it's in the can, as they say. We haven't got a release date for it because we're sorting out, intro music and the bits that
want to get a few episodes under the belt before we start posting them online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And also,
that's all
it's
very
not up to us
exciting.
when it releases. It's the mysterious studio heads. They'll let us
Yes.
know.
Oh
when
yeah,
the
yeah,
time
the
is.
board.
But Ryan,
decision-
we've got to plug it anyway. Ryan,
Yeah.
tell us about it. It's called
So-
White Box.
Yeah.
What is a white
White-
box?
White box. I should know this actually. Working in the games, it is an area
Yeah.
where you build stuff in a video game. No, so sort of in a white box is it's like a 3D scape where you can test stuff out and you test
Yeah.
the physics of it and the physicality. Normally it's checkerboarded rather than a white box to sort of, and each one is like high speed cameras, each one is a measurement of distance. So that you can how big things are, how far things travel, that kind of thing.
So it's
So
a
that's why
testing
when you
ground.
do-
It's a very early sort of stage, isn't it,
Yes,
of a
so
video
when you
game?
do white box testing, it's like if I hit this enemy, how far does it travel with 20% power on? It's all of your
Yeah.
staging.
How does the
areas.
geometry of this place, does it feel
Yeah.
right before we start skinning it and adding sort of textures and stuff to it? Yeah.
So the idea behind white box is the mysterious studio heads, when they are doing whatever it is they are doing, they call upon us and they give us a title of the next big game that they want us to create while they're doing boardroom things. And so we spend our time trying to come up with the idea, trying to create the idea from just from the title, from their weird concepts. And then every so often they'll call us again and be like, oh, actually, can we do this? And funnily enough, people like actual studio heads like Ken Levine used to do that exact thing. Would go home on the weekend, play a game, and then come in on Monday and be like, right, we need to
We're
implement
putting
this
this
now.
in now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's an hour long,
And-
right? So each episode's roughly an hour. A bit shorter than Slash Dupe is, and after about 40 minutes, is that right? The
20
or
minutes,
roughly,
after
or
20
no,
minutes,
sorry, 20
they-
minutes.
Yeah,
The
we
studio
get
head
a
calls and
genre
gives us a
change.
genre.
Yeah.
So whatever
And
we've been
then-
working on, whatever we've been coming up with, based on the title that we're given, has to then shift into that new genre. Has to fit into that new genre. And then 20 minutes after that, what happens?
They give us a fancy new feature that they want to put in the game.
Feature, buzzword. They throw something out that they've heard is popular in current video game affairs, and they want us to put it in this game, and we figure out how to do it. And I think we did. Listen, I'm not just saying this because we did it, but it was exceeded my expectations of how fun it would be to record it.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys thought, but I had a lot of fun. And we came
Yeah,
up with
I
some
had a lot of
cracking
fun.
Yeah,
ideas.
we smashed them out.
I spoke
Yeah,
to some
we
people
did,
about
didn't
it
we?
today at work, and they were just like, one guy genuinely was like, man, you should actually, you should take this to game jams and see if people will actually make them. And I was like,
I was
actually
the whole time we were doing that. I thought, oh man, these ideas are for indie 24-hour events. These are perfect
Yeah.
ideas
So,
for them.
I think that's maybe one of the things we'll do. We'll look at,
Well, if we get the support, right? So
the
we'll
world
put
is
out
our
the socials,
lobster,
and
isn't it?
yeah, we'll put it out on everywhere on Blood and Song as well, just to cross promote. We'll let everybody know when it goes live. It will be in the next couple of months. And if it gets big enough, it gets popular enough, we've got to get traction or people won't listen to us.
Yeah.
But if we do, then maybe we can take it to a game jam and we can, have the live stage and we can start pitching some stuff. Get a member of the audience up there. And then someone has to go off and make it. Yeah, that's a really interesting idea. That's a great idea, and it's something that we can't do with Slash Dupe, right? The immediacy of creating a film is bonkers.
Yeah.
But with White
But we
Box,
still have to do it at the end of season 1. We have to
make
make
a trailer out of it, don't we? That's White Box. That's coming soon. Produced by us guys. And then I did mention Slash Dupe, but I'd be remiss if I didn't say you can find Slash Dupe. Like White Box, it's an industry term. A slash dupe is, George Miller mentioned it when he was talking about doing Mad Max Fury Road. He saw the negatives in black and white. Not the negatives, sorry. He saw the film in black and white when you take it to be scored and other sorts of things. It's just a cheap print of the film they chuck out. And it's a very early version with no score and no VFX and stuff like that. And it's all the post-production can be done. So it's a very early sort of rough version. So slash dupe, slash / dupe like tricking someone, and we do trick people, and there is a dupe in there. So someone when they get that film title, they will get it at the start of the episode, same as you guys listening, and they'll have to catch up and interact and come up with their own idea in that sort of hour and a half, and then pitch it at the end of the episode, and then I pick a winner. So based on that one title that everybody gets, film or TV title, we all come back to the table and sort of it's like a friendly round table, and we workshop the ideas, and then I pick a winner, mostly just so we can have something to aim towards at the end.
I don't know.
What that
It
ends
feels
up being.
hearts have been broken on that show. I wouldn't say
Yeah,
it
they
was
have, haven't they?
wouldn't say it was
They
too
have.
friendly.
As it was going along, like I just thought, I'll pick a winner, whatever. But then I think we'll
get attached to ideas, especially if you've spent the week planning the idea, writing it down.
I know.
Yeah, which
I know,
actor's
it's
going to
so
play
bad,
which
isn't it?
roles?
Just like getting attached to characters, and that's why I don't like them to die. Do you know what I mean?
Nah.
It's the same
Yeah.
thing for me. Same
So
thing
you'll
for me.
find Slash Ship anywhere: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever. Just give it a Google,
Wherever
jump
you
on,
listen to good podcasts.
check it out, listen to any episodes, jump in. There is a full season, and then we're about to finish. And when we finish the season, we'll make a trailer out of the winner. We'll make a film trailer out of the winner. We're hoping to partner with Crunchy Tomatoes, which is a short film and commercial short film company that one of my friends owns, runs, and we're hoping to make a trailer with them. So we'll see. This is just some some insider info, but we'll see what's kicking off with that. So yeah, check out Slash Dupe, Chet and White Box is coming soon.
Yeah.
And us sticking around and doing a load of nonsense on this stream.
Yeah, so we've got the next couple of weeks looks like some board games for us, different kind of games, some things to get you guys involved as well. So if you are listening to this in a recording on a podcast or on a late one, obviously we stream 8 p.m. GMT on a Monday. So if you want to get involved with us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Total Party Win, that way you can be in with the action with us when we start playing these games, and we really want to get you involved. We love even just chatting to you guys, little things you guys post in the channels and stuff like that. It really is nice. The interaction is really lovely. So
I think it will be Betrayal on the House on the Hill next week, but
yeah,
I don't know. It's not confirmed. We haven't decided totally, but we're hoping to get everybody in chat involved in the week after in something.
Yeah, definitely.
Something Jackbox, something like that. Even if there's some other ridiculous games that we can play, we can figure it out.
Yeah, there's loads.
And then we'll be doing that for the next couple of weeks while Brad spools up a game of Descent into Inverness, and then while we are a smaller group, but as powerful and mighty, we shall.
We're just distilled. That's all.
Yeah, bringing you some more.
We're just distilled down.
Bringing you some more. You know how they like before we were like squash, and now all squash comes double concentrated. That's what you get.
Yeah, we're double concentrated.
We're double concentrated.
but not just that. Like we'll have Johnny, Joffrey, Dan, Christine, and more people will drop in and out. So that's the magic. Up until when we find out when the schedules align and we can go full force. You'll have these people drop in and drop out. Dan has some amazing personal news. I'm sure he'll want to share when he jumps on.
When the time's
we're
right,
very happy for him. His entire family's died, and he's made a load of money on the inheritance. Basically,
Yes, we haven't seen him in weeks. He's in Barbados.
Yeah. He's in Barbados, the Bahamas. He's gone around. He's so happy because the money's more important than anything, really.
Yeah. He's a quadrillion there. Wherever that
he doesn't need us anymore.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if you'll see number one on Forbes, an unknown picture, unknown, and then just a blank picture. That's Dan.
Yeah.
Won't fucking sponsor us,
yeah,
though,
exactly.
cheap prick, will he?
I know.
Spend all that money on hookers and blow, but not fucking.
Always. Well, those were his two favourite things. So, but no, seriously though, Dan does. We'll share some news with you. Johnny, I'm sure will pop on and give us an update on Arian. Well, we're all dying to know what's going to happen next. Same as everybody at home with our characters.
So main character Ripper, and then the rest of them.
Yeah. You sent that in a message to us, and Dan was like, "Main character Ripper," and then to me personally, and then like a load of laughing faces. So I thought you'd like that.
He knows it. He knows it. Search his feelings. He
knows it's true. So yeah. So thanks everyone. You can find us on our socials. Thanks you guys as well. I'm used to saying thanks Dan and thanks Ryan because of the podcast we do.
Yeah,
so I'm totally
names,
like
didn't you, for a minute there?
I did because I thought we were closing off an episode of Slash Dupe. Brad, I want you to give us the outro because you're so good at it. We talked about it the other day. Can you?
Oh,
give us
yeah,
one of your
yeah.
magical out-
Magical outros. Okay. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And we'll speak to you soon. Goodbye.